So my window's rolled down right now. It's 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I'm gonna try to talk loud. You might be able to tell that I was crying, and I'm not afraid of tears because like crying is part of being a human. So right now I'm mailing. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but this is like a very big moment in my life. I'm mailing something to someone that's been special to me for over 2 years. And I love him a lot, and I'll always love him a lot. I'm a believer in the fact that when you love someone, you can never not love them. It's my belief for myself that when I love you, I really, really love you, and I'll always love you. God, I'm crying in front of the post office. Fuck. So let me just finish writing this letter because I went to the bank to get a $2 bill. Oh, honey, God has a mysterious way of working. I went to the doctor on Thursday, and today's Monday, and I got a call from a referral from that clinic to set up like the intake appointment for a new counselor. So it's just very uncanny that when I'm like making this emotional video that means a lot to me and I'm going through a lot, that I would get that phone call like that. So I don't think there's coincidences in life. I'm just finishing writing a letter. Freaking mascara. Look, I look like a freaking raccoon. I mean, what? This is life sometimes. Sometimes we don't look all pretty, wrapped with a bow, in a pretty package, you know what I mean? So I want to finish writing my letter. I didn't know. To the person I'm sending this to, I'm mailing a $2 bill, $10 bill, because they live in a different country, and, you know, it's cool to see different currency. When I went to New York for the first time, I think in 2017 or 2018, I bought this wallet for my then husband because he needed a wallet, and it was genuine leather, and anytime I go somewhere, I buy my closest family members, including my husband if I have one, a souvenir, you know? And so I bought him this wallet. I came back and he didn't want it, so I kept it, and I'm mailing it to someone who will appreciate it. I've been meaning to mail this to him for a long, long time, but I haven't. So I don't think you're watching this. Oh, I'm probably not going to go into this government building all messy like this. I'll go into this other place. I don't know, we'll see. It's more like a little community store that does shipping. Because, I mean, look, a government worker is not going to be happy with me crying in the mail line. Oh. But yeah, so my husband at the time didn't want this. I think he was in fact probably really rude about it. And it's just a simple wallet, the basic wallet that he would use. So what I'm going to do now is not go into the post office because I'm an utter mess. Already made a fool out of myself from like every freaking person who's leaving the post office because I am actually parked right in front of it. Let me just tell you, sometimes I know how to make a fabulous impression. Not wearing earrings, that really freaking pisses me off because it makes me look, I don't like how it makes me look. It makes me look plain as fuck. But you know what? Guess what? We're gonna have to roll with it. So I'm not going into this government building right now because I simply cannot go into this government building right now. So I have 3 other letters that I'm gonna send. These 3 letters to other people, and we're gonna just go with the flow and do something else, you know? Okay. So I'm gonna talk to you guys, and this is like an ode. This is like an ode to the most compatible person I've ever been with. So let me give you like some backstory. I met my husband in 5th grade. I think it's a cool story. He always thought it was cheesy as fuck, whatever. But I think it's kind of cool, right? We met in 5th grade. We had a crush on each other then. We ended up dating for a week our junior year in high school. And then I was like, honestly, like, boy, bye. I don't have enough time for you and the goals I need to achieve, baby, because I got goals to achieve. And I did achieve those goals. But so then we started dating graduation night of high school. And we dated 8.5 years, and then we were married for 10 years. So we were together like about 18.5 years. Going through like divorce was utterly devastating. But in short, the reason it didn't end up working was because we were not speaking each other's love languages, and I firmly believe in that. And we were both miserable. And you might have heard about the 5 love languages. It's a book by Eric Chapman. They're physical touch, acts of service, quality time, gifts, and words of affirmation. And what's funny is my ex-husband's 2 love languages and my 2 love languages, they were like the hardest for each other to like, they're total opposite of each other in some ways, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't come easy to us, right? Okay, there's a guy walking through the crosswalk. I will not run him over. So they didn't come easy to us. And that's okay, because like I always thought opposites attract. Like in some ways we were really opposite, very opposite. But like I felt like we complimented each other a lot because of that. Well, anyways, so there have been some really low moments in my life. Really hard. Oh shit! I'm just gonna kill some dude. I'm gonna kill some dude, and that's gonna be that. I'm gonna kill a dude today. Fucking A, Dara. Okay. So. Oh wow. Okay, so there have been some really low moments in my life. The death of like some really, really close loved ones. My own health. Okay, so I didn't want to forget this. The lighting's all wrong. You can hear my air conditioner in the background, but I just wanted to make sure I added this very important information. Another really, really big low was during the past 2 to 3 years when my mom's health deteriorated. It's been a nightmare. So anyone who is close to their parents, if you've ever had them undergo like a big health issue like cancer and chemotherapy, in addition to other things, big health issues my mom has gone through, I think that you'll understand it's a nightmare. And so I did not want to forget that. And divorce, and going through divorce was utterly devastating. I never thought, I didn't even really believe in divorce, you know what I mean? But like I do know that was the right thing, and that's a whole other video though. So I left that marriage like a shell of myself. I left that marriage a shell of myself. I didn't really believe in myself. I didn't know where my future held. I didn't know much of anything. But I was a shell of myself. I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't have very good self-esteem. I was at a really low spot. A bunch of stuff happened at once. A motor blew out of my car in April or May of 2019. I got a new I lost my job in May of 2019. I got a new apartment, my own apartment for the first time ever as an adult in July of 2019, and I started a new job in July of 2019. I rode the bus for like 6 to 9 months because I didn't have a car. There were so many life transitions. And I wanted to like impress upon you. Like some people who know me are like, ooh, Dee, she's so confident. Like sometimes people will say, sometimes people will say interesting things to me, like someone typed this on a social media account like a few months ago, like, oh, you look good, but you always know you looked good. And I'm just like thinking, no. No, bitch, I didn't always know that I looked good. Like sometimes in life we're pigeonholed as like, oh, she's the smart one. We get pigeonholed into these labels, and then you sometimes you just think of yourself in that way. And I'm not saying like, oh, it's so horrible to be pigeonholed as a smart one. But that's not really accurate anyway, because I'm just hardworking. I'm gonna go outside now. I'm gonna go outside now to my little secret place that you guys that I think I've taken you to before. Take my purse with me. And there better not be any motherfucking cougars. Because if there's a cougar, I saw this video of how cougars behave. If there's a fucking cougar, I'm gonna get killed because those cougars can run like no other. So, okay, this is the little trail I'm going on. I wish there was a bench. Well, this is the area that I'm at right now. If there were benches along the trail, I would go down there. Honestly, I'm just gonna sit at one of these tables. I should have brought my tripod, but I didn't even think of it. So, if the camera is a little uneven, you guys know why, okay? But here's the railroad right there. This is one of my secret places. You guys don't tell anyone. Just you guys know. Okay, so I feel like that looks kind of nice. Gosh, I still look like a raccoon. Oh, well, we're gonna deal with it because this is real life, you know? So, my marriage ended. I was going through all these transitions in life. I had really low self-esteem. I had really low self-esteem. 2 years ago, I was 36 years old. I was like, how do you date in your mid to late 30s? That shit seems crazy. And this is my ode. This video is my ode to a person that was here for me when not a lot of people were. So I met someone who lives in a whole other country than me. I wasn't searching for someone. I was really depressed. Really depressed. So to honor him, I'm not gonna like say how we met, but it wasn't on a dating website, let me just tell you that. And right from the start, he was really funny. You can hear the birds and there's children down there. But right from the start, he was really funny. And he lifted my spirits. And we were friends for like a really short while, but like honestly, I fell in love with him really quickly. I didn't even know how he looked. And then we started talking on the phone, and he had a lovely voice. He has a lovely voice. And I always thought it was so funny because he's from England. I used to be such a hater about England. I just thought, like, any stereotype you could think of about England, like, they're uppity, this and that, like, they're unrelatable. I had that idea. And then I'm like, how the heck did I end up with some English dude? Like, that made no sense. That made no sense. And it was funny because, like, two of the celebrities who, like, I really like the most are Idris Elba and Russell Brand. Englishman. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something I didn't realize about myself all along. I just really love love. And he was here for me in ways that people who are physically in my life were not. I'm not saying that no one in physically in my life was not there for me, but I think sometimes you'll find when you go through hard things, people just aren't there. Like, it wasn't that I asked people sometimes for help, and there were certain people who really did help, and I've acknowledged them before. Certain family and certain friends, you know. But this new love of my life helped me at a time when I felt like a piece of garbage. He said I was sexy. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever said that about me before. I was like, what? Are you serious? He said I was beautiful. Like, okay, you know what? People can drop lines all they want. Some people do drop lines. Like, let's just face it. Some dudes will drop lines, or some people will drop lines just to, like, get what they want from you. But, like, I know he really meant it. And rebuilding my life is really hard. I had this new job. What was it? It was like an 8-week training. And I would have to get up. And no one in my training class, I don't think knew this. But I would get up like at 5:30 in the morning to be at work. So I could be in training on time. And then the traffic scared me after I got out of work because it's like you had to cross 4 lanes of traffic and people just don't care. And if I tried to like make it to the if I tried to like walk and then go to the crosswalk, it took a lot of time and I might have missed the bus. So I took the bus that was going clear out of my way. And then way back into like Spokane Valley, into the Spokane Valley Transit Center, and then would go all the way back to downtown Spokane. So I took that bus, right? Because I was scared to cross 4 lanes of traffic, and the timing wasn't really working to go to the crosswalk because it wasn't right there. I had to walk a few blocks. So I was like, okay, screw it. You know, in order to decompress, I'll just stay on this damn bus anyway. So I would like start my morning at like 5:30 in the morning, and then I'd get home, I think at like 6:30 at night, and because of the time difference. England has an 8-hour time difference from the Pacific coast in the United States. We would chat in the morning. Like, we would chat via, like, a messenger. Throughout the day. Every day. Pretty much every day. For right around 2 years, you know? This ode is not going how I wanted it to be. I guess I just want this person to know that he's really great, and like from the start and even before this relationship, I like didn't believe in fairy tales. But somehow this ended up to be a fairy tale. And I don't regret it because he helped, like, he helped me believe that there could actually be good guys out there. And I don't know, like, he just showed me things that I needed to be shown that had never been shown before. He accepted me for me. He accepted me for me. He didn't say I was stupid for being silly. In fact, he's silly too. And we could be silly together. And he saw that silly side of me. And I actually felt comfortable being silly around him. And we would video chat. We communicated every day. There were some times when there was like some like internet issues. But for the most part, we wouldn't go a day without speaking, aside from a few internet issues. And I can't express in words my gratitude because I can't even express how low I was. I mean, the best way to describe it was like I felt like a piece of trash when I knew that I was getting a divorce, and I felt like my future was going nowhere. I felt like I had nothing to look forward to in my future. I felt like how am I gonna date in my mid to late 30s? That's crazy. What kind of dudes am I gonna find? Like, that's scary. Like, that is scary. But like, he accepted me. And to be honest with you, I never fully had that. Like, I had never fully experienced that. Like, you can know someone when you're a kid and, like, yeah, you relate to them because, like, you grew up with them and you have such a long history, like, with my ex-husband, but I was never fully accepted by him. And, like, look, I'm not making this video to bash him or anything, but all I'm doing is telling you my experience, you know? Um, and I just felt like I felt so compatible with this English guy. And at first I was like, who does that? Who like has a boyfriend in another country? Like I would have totally been like to other people I would have been like, are you sure he's real? Are you sure he's who he says he is? Like I would have been that person so skeptical with anyone else who was doing that, but this time it was me. So this video might be long. You might be thinking like, get to the point. What is your point? I think the point of this is to say like you have to open your heart to love. Because I could have been bitter and I could have been closed off to the idea of love because of how low I felt. And I mean, some people I know don't agree with like getting right into the next relationship, and usually I was a person that didn't agree with that. But guess what I've learned about myself? I'm a very serial relationship person. So I hop from a relationship to a relationship. What I'm learning is that's probably not the healthiest for me, right? I mean, I still don't regret anything. And like if a relationship happens or like I don't think you should just because of what people think or just because of what you think might be healthy or not be as healthy, I don't think you should block a relationship. That's my perspective because like this life is so short and like you just I don't know, I just don't think you can give up on love, you know? So thank you for believing in me. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for saying I'm sexy, beautiful. Thank you for all the time that you spent caring for me and communicating with me. I forever grateful because honestly, like I told you from the start, God put you in my life. God put you in my life. God put us in each other's lives, you know? I firmly believe that. And I guess at this point, like, we're not really a part of each other's journey anymore. But you have been so important to my journey. There were mornings. God, I felt so low. No one. I don't know. I dealt with stuff emotionally where, like I said, I got up at 5:30 in the morning. Would get home at 6:30 p.m. Did that for at least 2 months. Emotionally, I was so tapped out. I can't, like, when you. It was like an elephant was sitting on my brain, and I could only give what I could give, which wasn't like a lot, you know? I just had to pick up the pieces of my life and, like, transition and move forward with my new life, you know? And I did that. And you helped me with that. COVID really did impact our relationship. I have a ticket to England. I have a credit to England, and I was supposed to visit him in the spring of 2020. right when COVID hit. So then I kept pushing my ticket back. Did I push it back or I just got a credit? Well, whatever the case is. Then the airline said, because of COVID, I have until December of 2022 to use this credit. Well, I'm obviously not going to England now. And it's like, it's hard for me to believe because, like, in some ways it was a fairy tale because it's not like 90 Day Fiance, you guys. That is some bullshit right there. That is for people with money. That's people with a lot of fucking excess money. That's not real life. Let me just tell you that right now. For everyday people, like maybe you and me, 90 Day Fiance is a fucking hoax. You need like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of excess money in order to make like a relationship like that work. And I'm not fucking made of money. So like that's also, if you're gonna have an international relationship, you better have some big fucking pockets, okay? It was also really cool to like learn more about England and learn more about like different slang words and to learn about just England in general. And it was so cool to learn about your interests. So I know this video is like I'm talking to him and he might not watch it and that's okay. But I just feel like I want to make this video because I think sometimes when people like are no longer together, they just want to bash each other and talk about all the crap. And I don't want to do that. Because when it comes down to it, we didn't want to break up. But we have to break up because of the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is it isn't a fairy tale. And building a future together isn't so easy, you know? And being together for 2 years and having never met, it's kind of can drive you crazy, you know? When you feel so close to someone but you've never actually met them in person. So, anyone out there who wants love, I guess I'm talking to you guys too, not just him. But anyone out there who wants love, like, when some people are so particular with like a list of like, oh, they have to look like this, they have to have this kind of job. Oh shoot, is the train gonna come by? Oh no, there's a train further out. When they have that massive list of like, they have to have this trait, this trait, this trait, this trait. Throw away your fucking list. Because, honestly, at the end of the day, like, do they treat you well? Honestly, like, look, there's some things I'd like on a list, but I don't have a list. Except, like, do they treat you well? Like, basic, really, really basic stuff, okay? I'm not gonna get into it, but, like, very basic stuff, you know? So, this video is to talk about how a journey has just recently ended and how I have a lot to learn. I have so much to learn, you guys. Like, I've already been working on myself. I'm someone who works on themselves. I don't just wait till these big life events to happen, right? But I'm realizing I have so much more to learn than I realized. Because The first relationship I was in that resulted in marriage, which I don't regret because I learned a lot, and like I obviously loved him too, but and we loved each other, but um that relationship ultimately I think I clung to because I didn't want to have to return to the life that I come from. And what I mean by that is sometimes there's certain generational traumas in our families, and we don't want to go back to that physical place because we don't want to repeat those patterns, you know? So I clung on to, I wanted to build a future of my own, but I wanted to build a future with someone, and then, so I clung on to that person, my ex husband, and then sometimes instead of like being like, oh shit, these are red flags, maybe you should dump each other. um, and stay not together. That didn't happen, you know? So yeah, I feel like my first relationship in my marriage it was based on fear, the fear of not wanting to repeat patterns of my family. I'm not saying anything against my family because each family has patterns, whether they're toxic or not, you know? There's patterns in families. And then the second relationship that I'm talking about, do you guys hear the birds? They sound lovely. I needed to know that, like, I don't know, I needed to know that a future was possible, or I needed to know that, like, I don't remember what my second thought was about my relationship, but basically, I wasn't coming into it as like a whole person. I was like really hurt. I was really, I was a really hurt person. So, so, so the first one, I clung on to the relationship out of fear, and the second one, I clung on to for hope, I guess. The hope of like a future with him, you know? And so I guess I'm moving in a positive direction, but I still have so much to learn. So much to learn about myself. Trust me, I have a slew of shit to focus on regarding my health. Not that I haven't been focusing on it, but maybe right now God is like, D, hey, now is the time to get your shit together. Because I certainly have a lot of my own shit. I don't need to be adding some person to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a relationship so that I can get distracted with someone. Like, look, people can be great distractions. I am great at distractions. Now is the motherfucking time for me to get my shit together. When you reach a certain age, the clock is ticking louder. Like, I got some weight to lose. I have some health issues to hopefully overcome. Please, God, help me overcome them. And so I can be a healthier person. Because honestly, it's not putting my best foot forward if I am not a healthier D and I try to like couple up with someone, you know? Like, I'm super great at doing that. But I need to just pump the brakes and work on me. But this is an ode to a really special English guy. And like I said before, I will always love you. Because I don't believe that once you love someone that like you stop loving them. Like maybe your love changes, but like I can't just stop loving someone. That's just not how I work. I just don't work like that, period, you know? And I want the best for you. And I know you can have a good future. You're such a great guy. You're such a great guy. So, thank you for allowing me to be part of your life. Even if we physically weren't in person together. You gave me a lot of your time. You gave me your attention. Thank you. I will forever be grateful. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, like, the hard moments that we had. I'm sorry about that. I think you know that I'm sorry. Like, you have no idea what you helped me with. Like when I had to walk to the bus stop in the cold morning. And I was just so torn up inside because of life in general. I could type to you, and you were right there responding. I could send you a picture of, like, my day. You're a lovely person. And life is not what I think. Life is hardly what I think it is. It should be sometimes. The way life unfolds. Sometimes it's so hard and messy, and it doesn't turn out, you know, like what you think it's gonna turn out like. But I wanted to be vulnerable like this because you've been so important to me, and you were one of the few people that were really there for me when I was in the thick of going through divorce. And I can't even articulate everything you helped me with and how it made me feel. But there are ways that you made me feel that I've never felt before. And I still think we like are very compatible, you know? And so you're the most compatible person I've ever been with, and that was like hugely important to like find that, you know? I know maybe things would be different in person. I don't know. We have good chemistry. That's what I know. And I think that chemistry would translate well in person. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I guess you never know, but sometimes the reality in life has to supersede what's in your heart. And that's the case for this situation. And I'm gonna be okay because, like, I've God on my side. And I'm a better person. I'm a better person than I was when this relationship started.
This is my ode to you. Just remember you're really precious. And you can have the life you want. It's really, really hard to get there, you know? But you can still have that life. And I know you don't like when I cry, but I just have to be vulnerable and raw and just let it out, you know? Not enough time has passed for me to be a composed version of myself, you know what I mean? And this is also what I learned. What I'm going to be focusing a lot in counseling. When you don't grow up with a dad, and then when you are an adult and have relationships with men, um, sometimes I seek what I didn't have. So I wanted to provide, like, you know, be married, have children, provide a household that I didn't have, you know, with like two parents. And I think that with this second relationship, I've moved closer to that goal. But my eggs are about powdered anyway, and like, I don't know at my age, like, who's gonna want foster children and then adopt. Look, there's a lot of variables, whatever. I'm not getting into all that sticky shit, right? But what I'm gonna say is this. I don't know. This is what I'm gonna have to work on with a counselor, because I don't know if that's unhealthy or not. That, like, I don't just want love for myself. But, like, I want a guy that's, like, would be a really good dad. So, and I know it's not like, I know I can't make up my childhood. I can't make up my childhood, you know, I can't redo that. But I just don't want to bring children into this world uh, in certain conditions, you know. I'm not knocking anyone else out there, but this is based on my reality and my experience. And I think I saw with the second relationship that, like, I got closer to my goal. And you know, you'd be a really good dad. I know you'd be a really good dad. To be honest. And that probably eats me up more than any. That probably eats me up more than anything. Is that I couldn't provide you with a child or children. But we don't need to go down that road, because I'll be out here for another however long. Another 40 minutes. So we don't want to be out here that long. Just remember, like, none of us are perfect. In relationships, sometimes we do really stupid shit. We're really imperfect people. Like, I know I have a lot to work on about myself. For myself, you know? I have a lot to explore with a counselor. Obviously, I have a lot to explore with a counselor. And not just this, you guys, but, like, I'm a big believer in counseling, so obviously, like, I would see a counselor regardless, because I got all kinds of stuff we can, you know, talk about. But yeah, if you guys have a list out there of of what you're looking for, like, I would just say shorten that list. Like, do they treat you well? just shorten it way down. Because, like, you could really be missing out on someone great just because they don't fulfill one of your requirements. Like, that's so petty. That's just my opinion, you know? But it was so great to have you in my life, to be in your life. Thank you again for everything, for being there, you know? And I will always be here with love in my heart for you, wishing you well. And wishing your whole family unit well. So, take care. And I'm gonna go to that little store and ship that wallet to a man that will use that wallet and be appreciative of that wallet. So, see, in life, there's no perfect people. There's no perfect people. Like, I'm not perfect. No, those two dudes have not been perfect. And that's good because I don't want someone perfect. But when we're in a relationship, I think we should have the goal of, like, if it doesn't end up working out, like, that each relationship is better than the last one, you know? And some people may not understand this because I was with someone for 18 and a half years, but my 2-year relationship, it was better than my last one. I know things were a lot different, but there were a lot healthier things in the relationship. And so, God is so good. God knew that we needed each other when we needed each other. I'm gonna stop crying because you're not gonna like this. You're probably not even gonna watch this. And everyone else is gonna think, like, dude, she's foolish as fuck. But no, I think some people can actually relate to this because, like, sometimes we don't show our really vulnerable moments. And I've talked about this before, I think, on this video, or when I would do Facebook Lives anyway, that one of my lifetime goals is to show my vulnerability. Like, I've worked on that for probably 12 to 15 years now, and I've really, like, gone a long way with it. So, thank you guys for listening. I'm sure that I needed this more than you needed to watch this, but I'm going to put this out there because love is relatable. Love is part of life. And as much as it hurts to, like, no longer be on the journey of love with someone, there's so many lessons we can learn from it. And I'm sure that, like, in the coming days, weeks, months, maybe years, I'll still be learning a lot about both my relationships, you know? So, I'm not gonna do, like, the regular ending, but I'm gonna do one part of the regular ending. So, there's only one you. So don't forget to take care of you. Bye, you guys.